Hey, what's up, you guys? Alright, so I am going to make this video like super short. I'm gonna try because this is literally my like sixth time doing this, and I literally did the whole last one and then I was editing it and I realized that I had my finger over the freaking microphone, so I have to redo it. But I'm just gonna try to get to the point with this. On my video about how to be a good waiter or waitress, I got a request about making a video on how I organize my server slips. And your server slips are just what you take your orders down on. So the ones that I get are from work. As you can see, they say Rubylicious up there. And they actually have like a format laid out already. But I kind of, over time, have established my own way of doing it. So I'm just going to show you both ways. Alright, so this is the first way. This is the way that it's kind of like laid out for you. Sorry. Alrighty. So this has it laid out as your table number up there, seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4. Now, to determine who's in what seat number, you can basically just think of it like this. Oops, sorry. If you're standing right here and you're facing your table, the person closest to you on the left is seat number 1. Next to them is seat number 2. Across the table is seat number 3 and seat number 4. If you're serving a party of 2, it's just seat 1 and seat 2. Okay. The reason that this is important is because a lot of the time people want to split checks and they won't always tell you ahead of time that they're going to want to do that. And it's really difficult when you've had multiple tables at once and then one table says, hey, can you split this 4 ways? And you have to go back and literally try to pair up in your mind what drinks went with what orders and to who. It's just really irritating and it's just time consuming. So doing it this way is just so much more effective. So this is an actual order that I really took. This is the actual order, but I copied it over here for, the sake of this video. So up in seat number 1, I write water. They wanted a water, so I write water, but I left clearly enough space for their meal, any modifications they want, and their sides so that, there's plenty of room. And obviously I wrote the table number up in the table number. Seat 2 was coffee. They didn't want any cream or sugar, else I would have written that. Guest 2 wanted a petite sirloin, so I just wrote petite. Sorry, I skipped guest number 1. Guest 1 wanted a pork chop. There's obviously going to be really extensive, fancy names for every dish on your menu, and the guests are going to order them as they're read on the menu. So you don't have time to write this freaking 6-word dish name. You just gotta get to the point. You got other things to do, and they're not gonna slow down what they're saying, so you gotta keep up. He ordered the hickory bourbon glaze blah blah blah, so pork chop. His sides were mashed potatoes and broccoli. That's clear enough for me to figure out. Guest number 2 got a petite sirloin, so I wrote petite because that's what matters. I'm gonna obviously know it's a sirloin, it's not like a dress. And they wanted it cooked medium, which is written up here, but it's also just common sense, so medium, M. And they wanted mashed potatoes and a salad bar. The third person got a coffee, and then they got a classic cheeseburger. And I do write classic cheese because we do have other types of cheeseburgers, and yeah. They wanted it cooked medium again, so M. They wanted onion rings and broccoli, so that's one whole table. Now this is really convenient too, because when you print their check, you can literally compare it side by side and make sure that you didn't charge them too much or forget to charge them for something. You can literally queue it up, and it will match perfectly, hopefully, if you did it correctly. So this is this is the easy way. This is the simple way. But obviously it's not that effective if you have parties of more than 4 people. Like, there's no back to these. So you're going to be doing a lot of flipping. And honestly, for me personally, I just like to have my whole table in eyesight. So yeah, this works if you have a table of 4 or less. But also, if you have multiple tables at once, you're still going to be doing a lot of flipping, and you just don't want to confuse yourself. So this is how I prefer to do it. Now, again, I separated this for the sake of the video and for organizational purposes, but I usually fit 1 table in each box because I'll typically have 4 tables at a time. So it just works for me. So obviously I won't write a table in the table number box. I'll just write it somewhere near and I'll circle it. I'll divide the tables with a squiggly line because I just want to make sure it's definite that this is a separate table, because sometimes it'll spill over into the other boxes. This is the exact same order, but instead of doing the actual seat numbers and wasting all my paper and space, I make this box. So these are like quadrants. So seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, and seat 4. There was nobody in seat 4, so I put an X, and the same thing down here, I put an X. This was table 102, like I said over here, table 102. But then I divided it, and this is table 204. So we can just quickly go over theirs. Obviously, for drinks, that's listed up here. RB, what do you think that stands for? It would be root beer, because that just makes the most sense for a drink. Chocolate milk for this person, and water with lemon for this person. Okay, this is where you need to leave yourself a little bit more space because, and write a little bit smaller if you're capable of it. They ordered our cheese minis, so our mini cheeseburgers, but they didn't want cheese on it, so minus the cheese. Okay, and then they wanted fries. This person wanted our chicken tenders, but tossed in a mild sauce, so mild tenders. This person wanted a petite sirloin and coconut crusted shrimp. I have no room for that, so I wrote petite and cocoa, just because that is obvious, and yeah. So they wanted their steak cooked medium well, and they wanted fries and zucchini. So yeah, this is a lot more easy to divide up and see, and it just makes more sense to me. Obviously, when you're starting out, this is probably the safer way, just because it's just very clear and you can just, it's just definite. But as you go on and when you are busier, you're going to want to kind of shorten things up and not have to flip through a bunch of pages when you're typing in orders. You're going to want to literally stand at your computer and type in 4 orders at once. And this is the way that you're going to be able to do it without having to flip around and just waste time. So yeah, I'm sorry that I kind of rushed through this video, but I just kind of wanted to get to the point for you guys, because it's kind of a long concept and it can be kind of confusing. Obviously, I was never taught to do things this way. This is how I figured it out. If this works for you, fantastic. I'm glad I could help. If not, don't even worry about it. Like, don't even think about it. Sorry, my camera died. But as I was saying, if this scares the living bejesus out of you, don't touch it. Don't worry about it. Forget this video. But this is literally how I do it, and every single person that I work with writes things differently, and we're all always confused by the way that we write things. So this is just what works for me. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you have any other requests for any other types of videos like this, let me know, because this was super fun to film for you guys. Yeah. Until next time, see ya.